What monster rocked this big boat so hard that the fisherman almost fell off? And why should you never turn your back on a predator? Today, I'm going to show you what happens when people mess with the wrong animals. Stay till the end. We start with footage from the YouTuber YBS Yangbloods, who records with a GoPro one of his adventures in the ocean. Suddenly, he is invaded by an unexpected guest. A huge and curious shark swims alongside him, and initially has no problem even trying to touch it. All of a sudden, the tables turn and the situation gets hot. The two come upon a large sea turtle, and the shark, with its predatory instincts, decides to attack it. Unwittingly, the guy even crosses their path during the fight. However, things do not end there, and the situation escalates even more. At one point, the shark leaves the turtle and turns its attention to the board, even trying to bite him. The large fish push the man into the water. Thank God he keeps calm and quickly comes back on board to show us the bite marks. Fortunately, all ends well, and the YouTuber makes it back to shore unharmed. We move on to the video of another extreme athlete who is even one idea braver. A man named Pete comes across a rather interesting sight as he skates down the Canadian forest roads. He encounters a large American black bear by the side of the road, and instead of slowly backing away and walking to the other direction, he starts laughing and joking, calling it Yogi. Listen for a bit.
Hello, Yogi.
I don't know how he decided that he could approach the bear like that, but he quickly regretted his intention. The bear dashed towards him, and only his quick reaction to send his skate at it saved him. This way, the bear was distracted, and that gave him some time. Only then did he remember to back away and smoothly begins to walk, but maybe it is too late. The bear continues to walk towards him while pushing the skateboard, probably considering her chances whether to attack him or not. Thank God we hear more people coming, and then the video ends. It's good to be bold, but you should always be careful. Imagine a situation in which the guide whispers to you, "Do not make a sound," while a 6-ton elephant growls and circles you, just waiting for a reason to stab you with its tusks. Here's some of the atmosphere. The situation develops during an African safari when the car suddenly runs into a herd of aggressive elephants. The guide instantly gives instructions to keep silent and not to make any sudden moves. This really requires a lot hard nerves, considering you could be on the verge of a very painful death. The elephant makes the situation even more tense by starting to wave its trunk. Take a look. Thank God, after this show of force, the elephant goes away and the people in the car sigh heavily with joy at being out of danger. How brave, or stupid do you have to be, to pet a lion while he is trying to have sexy time with a female? In fact, the line between bravery and stupidity is quite thin, as it turns out in this case. After they attracted the attention of the lion, who, judging by the markings, is a fighter, I would close the window if I was in the bus. The people inside, however, pet him as if it is normal. But then this happens. It was certainly the scariest jump scare of the operator's life, and look how quickly he closed his window afterwards. We must not forget that it is not the animals who are to blame, but us humans. After all, we are trespassing on their territory, not the other way around. A group of tourists in India are enjoying a safari in the jungle when they encounter a rare and rather terrifying sight of a tiger stalking them. Look what's happening. The tiger rushes down towards them, but the camera at that moment falls, and we don't see what happens. They apparently survived because the video continues. So is the danger. After their first meeting, the predator continues to stalk them in slow motion without initially taking action. The tiger, however, has not given up on his goal. He is simply waiting for the right moment. In slow motion, we can see the animal attack them again. This time, the driver reacts faster and accelerates to escape him. Did you know that people in India wear masks on the back of their heads to fend off tigers? Predators attack people from the back, and wearing such mask prevents a lot of deaths. Here we have another angry elephant, but unlike the previous video, things are much more dangerous. These giants do not usually attack people, unless, of course, they are provoked. In this case, tourists narrowly miss it. Look. As they walk, suddenly the elephant rushes towards them and stops behind the tree. The guide realizes that something is wrong and tries to calm the animal down. The surprising behavior causes everyone to freeze in place, but not the elephant. Look. Again, it stops just a few meters from the tourists, and they are instructed by the guide not to move. They begin to slowly retreat as the third attack comes. Thank God the elephant gives up after one more try. Otherwise, the video might not have a happy ending. Apparently, the giant was protecting his young because his behavior was not typical. When you're paddling your kayak in some crazy deep jungle, you should always be prepared for such a situation. A large alligator attacks the small boat and the paddler in it, but what happens in just a moment can make your blood freeze. The man loses his balance as a result of the collision and falls into the water with the alligator. Here we are already expecting the worst, aren't we? Thank God, he manages to stand up and keep his balance on the boat. If you are wondering how strong and big crocodiles can be to overturn a canoe, you better watch this footage. See how one moved this boat? According to some, it must be a hippopotamus, but it is not known. It certainly scared people, though. It's good that in some cases the crocodiles just like to transit the boats, not paying attention to tourists. Anyway, we're on the topic of crocodiles. You should know that they don't like drones at all. I don't know if it's because they think it's food or if are just annoyed by the sound, but the massive reptile can eat drones for breakfast. The thick smoke coming out of his mouth doesn't mean he's turned into a dragon, but that his teeth have pierced through the lithium-ion battery. We know it reacts pretty violently when exposed to air, and that crocodile would need a pretty strong stomach to digest it. In general, we can conclude that crocodiles do not like drones at all. I found a lot of videos showing how they eat them. Hey, give a thumbs up to support the channel, and let's continue with more interesting animal encounters. We return again to terrestrial predators and an encounter with an unpredictable ending. We are observing a man trying to approach a young bear without thinking of his well-being. The basic rule is if you see a baby bear, slowly start to back off and walk away, because mommy bear is somewhere nearby. But you should know that even baby bears are not as defenseless as they seem. Check out the following footage. The boy tries to caress her, but when he sees that it won't work, he turns his back on the bear, which is a huge mistake. The bear immediately seizes the opportunity and attacks. Thank God the boy's reaction is quick and he gets into the car. If you turn your back on a predator, it takes advantage. It's in his nature. Look at the same bear standing up. Doesn't seem so small anymore, does it? You must have seen this video in which a huge bear runs towards a group of photographers. It takes a lot of courage to yell and step on the bear. I bet the photographers ended up being like that, but they still pushed the bear away. Deer can be dangerous too, and I probably don't even need to tell you because you can see for yourself what kind of antlers they have. You are watching a footage in which it is initially not clear who this huge deer is coming down on. As the camera pans away, we learn that he has his sights set on a target from afar. Take a look. Considering that the deer walks such a distance just to threaten the elderly couple, it is probably irritated by the orange color of the blouse. At first I thought it was going to attack and strike, but apparently it has other intentions. However, things escalate quite a bit. Apparently it's not just the color of the blouse because the angry deer attacks other people as well, even pushing the woman on her black. But the clip cuts out and we don't get to see what happens next. The lesson perhaps is that even if you are far away, deer are determined and willing to travel quite a distance to attack you. Honestly, I'd really like to see how lions live in the wild, wouldn't you? Of course, inside of a car for safety. But as you will see in a moment, even this protection may not be enough. You should know that like any other cat, the lion is a curious animal and will not hesitate to do this one. It is good to lock the doors in such places so that it is not known.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know they could do that.
The good thing is that people reacted quickly and closed the door. Otherwise, if the lioness had gone inside, it would have been interesting. Have a look at this wave on your screens. What do you think is under the water? Shark, crocodile, or manatee? Well, no. A huge hippopotamus that got angry at the boat. The captain hit the gas because otherwise this thing could easily turn them over. Hippos are known for their aggressive nature and are surprisingly fast both on land and in water. Despite their huge size, they are in the top 10 of the most dangerous animals responsible for human deaths, killing about 500 people every year. Even lions have fewer victims than the hippos. Well, in general, if you see such a wave, expect it. If you constantly want to learn such interesting things, then subscribe to the channel. When you are fishing in warmer countries, you should expect that a crocodile or an alligator may go after the bait. When he is hungry, however, he is more irritable than usual, just like people. When you further anger him, this is what can happen. Look, have you seen how high it can go? I play it again in slow motion. The crocodile directly crossed its front paws and almost got into the boat. Thank God he falls overboard and all ends well. In reality, crocodiles can propel almost their entire body out of the water with a good boost. Keep that in mind. Now I'm showing you a video and I want you to tell me in the comments how brave the following photographer is from 1 to 10. Honestly, when I first watched, I thought he was going to be beaten by the gorilla. Males in particular are super territorial and extremely strong animals. They weigh about 200 kilograms and stand nearly 2 meters tall. Whales, on the other hand, are usually not aggressive, but sometimes they may unintentionally crash into a boat. However, one surfer recently had an interesting encounter with a whale. Look, good thing it's a 360-degree camera so we can see everything. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe for more interesting content, and go watch this one here. Bye and see you next time.